the International Battery Show, third day. Last year I come right at the beginning, although this year I waited till the last day because God forbid it was so crowded last year. It was like over an hour just to get in, and it was packed. So this year I figured I'd come the third day, and it was still pretty packed relatively to most shows here. That parking they raised to $10, and it was really far away, the parking, like last year. But I'd at least check it out. And my parents, God willing, are going to be getting solar energy for their house, and so I'm at least going to look into batteries for home solar energy storage, although I'm not even sure they have that. Like I looked on the sheet to see if they had companies that were doing solar energy storage batteries. Just find some pricing information, metrics and various stuff. So I'll be on the lookout for that. That's really the only thing. One thing is construction. So here in Michigan, 696 in the roads, traffic. So I skipped some of the shows this summer, but I figured the battery show, and I had specific incentive for my parents to check out what was here. So I figured I'd come around, and then also, I just finished Walter Isaacson's book on Elon Musk, and I had a lot of thoughts. I thought I'd do a ramble, and maybe for me to do the ramble was here because it's related to engineering. I think most of the insights about Elon Musk and what's happening is related to engineering. Although a lot of people are curious about Elon Musk's personality, character flaws, his ownership of X and Twitter. Relatively, it's probably more important what's happening with Tesla and maybe SpaceX. I mean, SpaceX also, and just an interesting note, because I put in the title, and I'm going to be talking about the. Okay, God forbid, hopefully I don't have a problem with reception. I'm using their Wi-Fi. Beckhoff, good company, German company. I read through a lot of their stuff last year. American Battery Metals. I'm not sure. There's over 800 companies. I'll probably ramble. I'm not sure if anyone watching, if the video quality is good enough that you could see the names of the companies as I'm walking around. I could try to go a tad bit slower, but I'm not sure if the video quality. I'll hold the camera with two hands. Hopefully it'll make it a little bit steadier. So I hope you have the half of it is like hydroelectric and so hopefully people can see a little bit. Sorry, I lost the reception there again. I'm just walking around for the first time, so I can see there might be weak lapsing reception where someplace I'll get better reception than others. So I apologize about that if anyone's watching live. And I'm using the Expo Hall's internet reception. I doubt my cell phone's regular reception would be sufficient to stream. I could have also recorded it and posted later, but I figure I'd live stream. So if I'm down to 0 viewers, hopefully this stream still works out. So I read Walter Isaacson's book on Elon Musk, and there's some interesting insights, but I want to focus mostly on the state of engineering in America. So if you're in Metro Detroit, and I think it's even national news, is the beginning of a strike of the United Auto Workers and what used to be the big three um, negotiations. And one of the things that possibly has led to Elon Musk's success is his refusal to unionize Tesla. None of its companies are unionized. The Biden administration and they're kind of cold shoulder to Elon Musk. They had certain things in the past about inviting to the White House the big three for electric car motors, and Elon Musk was kind of snubbed. He's like, what electric car manufacturer in America, and he wasn't invited because he wasn't unionized. So an overall aspect of kind of the media portrayal, Elon Musk has these character flaws, and he's not a very nice guy. The one obvious thing is his not unionizing. So that could be partially what has led to his success, is that he's not unionized. And you see, especially if there is a strike in the UAW and how that pans out. Possibly, like the go woke, go broke. Elon Musk's fight against wokeness in various things like affirmative action, diversity. You're just kind of like treating people good, whether they put out good results or not. Could also be part of the reason for the success. So I mentioned, one of the things that Walter Isaacson is mentioning, like, well, why does is it right for Elon Musk to have so much power? Why does he have so much power? He's mentioned, well, he has so much power because he has succeeded where the rest of America has failed. Three of those important categories where the West has failed, America has failed, and Elon Musk has succeeded is spaceflight. Spaceflight being the most important because not only has America failed in spaceflight, America is in a worse situation than it was 30 years ago. Like the companies NASA, Boeing are performing worse than they were 30 years ago in terms of the ability to put astronauts into space, into launching satellites. America is in a worse situation than it was 30 years ago. And there could be multiple reasons for that. Edward Dutton and the reverse Flynn effect, general incompetency, and bad business practices. Diversion one, Professor Duderstadt, University of Michigan, when I was a student there, talked about the professionalization of engineering, and how we want engineering to be a major profession and wasn't having success at that. And so one of the things you find in Walter Isaacson's book is Elon Musk wanting engineers to be in charge. So even the last thing at Twitter, the R.E. Emanuel, for a period trying to negotiate between Elon Musk and the advertisers, is that people, that they're the ones who are expendable and should be hired, not the engineers. And relatively, those are the people that are needed the least in the engineering company, the business side. And I took University of Michigan Engineering 520 that tried to teach the basics of business to engineers, saying that it's easier to teach engineers the business side than it is the issue that I'm talking about of having business people in charge of engineering. So Elon Musk insisted that to have engineers in charge, even like X and Twitter. Say X and Twitter is basically an engineering company, and engineers should be in charge of making the decisions, and that sort of pushback in having social programmers, business people, advertisers deciding what's best for Twitter. But certainly if you look at the big three engineering manufacturer in America in general, you find engineers having a second seat. Well, a lot of the billionaires, the people who have succeeded and got ahead, it's the exact opposite. The few people that have become very wealthy are engineers that have mastered the business aspect, like Elon Musk. And maybe Elon Musk kind of right place at the right time, a little bit of luck, having developed PayPal and having had money to you call it a little bit of luck, divine providence, right place at the right time, having his own money to put behind him. And although he's had business partners and investors, largely being able to run his own company, which very few engineers are capable of doing. Another important aspect, so that one aspect of the importance of engineers running engineering companies, and that not really being the case. In most cases, business people from other backgrounds run engineering companies, and engineers are expandable and replaceable. So that's a big problem, and probably one of the big reasons for Elon Musk's success. It said Walter Isaacson, Elon Musk's success is not necessarily because of his great brilliance or being special, but because of the decline of everybody else. Everybody else is doing such poor work. Everybody else has failed so badly at space flight, at electric vehicles, at driverless cars, and so on, that Elon Musk has just taken over because everyone else has failed so badly. And why have they failed so badly? Because of corruption, mismanagement, and incompetence, largely, God forbid. Okay, so that's one aspect of, God forbid, Elon Musk's decline of America and why he's getting ahead. Another reason is you're related to the corruption and mismanagement and incompetence. Most American companies are very old, over 100 years old, as where a lot of these Asian companies, so if you look at Japan, and why Japan got ahead was, because, God forbid, so much of the infrastructure in Japan was destroyed World War II, that they had to rebuild everything and had largely completely new infrastructure compared to American companies where the stuff was built even in the late 1800s through World War I and II, and Japan was building the stuff new after World War II. So that has perpetuated itself even further, where most of these Asian companies are less than 20 years old. A lot of them are less than 10 years old. So the Korean and Chinese companies that are developing these high-tech parts, most of them have opened up in the last 20 years, maybe even half of them are less than 10 years old. And a lot of them have German counterparts. So, I'm not going to talk about Germany today too much, but, saying that the German technology, the Germans have, God forbid, we are on the decline. Whatever we're doing is factory is not really working that part well. You guys see, the only Tesla is a new company. All of their manufacturing processes, factories are less than 20 years old. Most of them are less than 15 years old. In fact, a lot of them are being built now with completely new practices. And although Ford has some new factories being built, there is new manufacturing in America being built with the newest techniques, including the big three, some final assembly plants. They're legacy old companies that have a lot of corruption. They have business people hiring and firing engineers, and a culture of high turnover and corruption that probably is not savable as compared to the Eastern companies that are young companies, like Elon Musk, people willing to work hard. The UAE right now, and I'm not making a opinion about people, saying the natural rise and fall of nations and working hard. So the UAE one of their demands is a 32-hour work week and 40% raise. And that may be reasonable in a lot of respects, but the hubris of America again. So yeah, I'm trying to get a full walk around and see more, but certain spots have weaker internet. Okay, yeah, so to places where I have the UAW right now is the 32-hour work, and the reasons, saying unions and collective bargaining and make Elon Musk huge, like worse than the legacy companies of American manufacturers, specifically the big three. But you're the hubris to think that you could work less, willing to be in the office at all times, sleeping there. Every single thing about him in the newspapers, as far as I remember, has been negative. So I'm like Musk, and certain of his accomplishments, papers, everything in the papers. I've been reading the New York Times for a few years now. Every single article about Elon Musk and Tesla and his companies is largely negative. And even if you occasionally have an article that talks about his accomplishment, it will at the same time focus and mention all the negative things about him. And one reason is because his push against unionization, where we're talking about space, you're talking about launching satellites, getting nothing that is capable of doing it anymore other than SpaceX with Russia into space until Elon Musk was capable of doing it and manufacturing power. So to say the bad boy of American manufacturer, the most hated man by the media who's been able to successfully do these things. And Walter Isaacson on the media, kind of hinting at like, well, he's a really bad man, he's a bad guy. He's got these demons, and that's why he's such a bad guy with these demons. But is that why he's able to succeed where everybody else has failed? And they say, well, not everybody else has failed. Only everybody else in America has failed. God forbid. So the Asians have not failed. Companies are Asian. Almost all the people here are Asian. Almost all the U.S. companies that have any clue what they're doing and being competitive is because they have Asian partners. So on and so on, God forbid. So I've been coming to these shows for a decade. People who follow my YouTube, I've been streaming on them. This might be one of my more hardcore rambles just about the decline of America. I don't think anyone here disagrees with me. They might hope that's not the case. And even like Elon Musk and what's going on with Twitter and the ADL and the UAW strike, largely just the gluttony, decline of empire, legacy companies, corruption. I first mentioned business people being in charge of engineers. But you can still get ahead. So you're saying, well, why are there so many people here? I go to the other shows, they're not packed like this. Because batteries, one of the most important technological the automotive industry, technology stories about Elon, because he thinks that electric vehicles are going to fail too soon, and money's money, so short Tesla. And part of the reason the UAW strike is the failure of science, what is truth, your plating, engineering. And it's like that Elon Musk's main benefit is practical uses of engineering. I wanted to talk about AI also, and automation. I'm probably not going to talk much about AI, although it's also applicable in terms of, you'll say that the first people to be replaced will probably be the business leaders. and advertise unnecessary jobs that automation. Like what is truth? In my last week in review is like basis the algorithm versus how human comprehension works, and objectivity, fairness is more easily determined by the computer than by humans, and you might see that push in certainly automation and various manufacturing processes. So the last point I wanted to make was, so I was kind of defending Elon Musk and his mention, deliberate practice in the 10,000 hour rule in relation to Elon Musk. Elon Musk growing up in South Africa, whose father was an engineer and had a library, and he experimented on rocketry and computers and programming and various things. Elon Musk probably dedicated over 10,000 hours to multiple fields. I mean, one, he was a chess player in school, so he may have been familiar with some of these studies as a youth, like chunking theory or development of expertise when he was in high school. But 10,000 hours to computer programming, 10,000 hours to material science, specifically related to batteries. So, I haven't talked much about batteries today, but the most important thing about batteries is material science. And one of the biggest problems for battery manufacturer is scaling. And then, another 10,000 hours to manufacturing processes. So the value proposition in the current status of the West is very small to put deliberate practice and the 10,000 hours into manufacturing processes, because the reward structure is on the business side. You're going to have business people in charge. The payoff, you have a handful of people, like the richest people in the world, that go through the system and were able to do the business aspect on their own, but generally in the side. And therefore, you want the payoff, and there's not a payoff to put the hard work into understanding engineering practices, because if you do succeed, the majority of the benefit is going to go to the business side anyways. So in the East, that may not be the case. There may be more reward for engineering, more appreciation of the science culture, where people are willing to put the hard work into science. Even in the West, our current failed push, STEM education, because we see this as the important direction of the economy for people to get ahead financially. Technology pushing society forward to be competitive against international competition, and you see the handful of really rich people that have succeeded with science and technology. However, it's not enough to incentivize people to put those thousands of hours of deliberate practice into science and engineering. So that's a topic I will continue with in weekly review, the nature of expertise. And a lot of expertise, I've been talking about chess and games. It's more measurable. There's licensing. There's all sorts of equipment and training. And, all these companies have specific training on their equipment and certification in order to install, operate, maintain their equipment. And that's also important for probably one of the single most important fields for the science of expertise. Although there's more detail in medicine for that. Because Professor Duderstadt, University of Michigan, engineering has not become professionalized like law, accounting, and medicine. And so the certification process is weaker, and the certification is more on the process than the person. So that'll be another topic that's important to really wanted to think about batteries, is willing to spend hours and hours thinking about singular manufacturing processes in order to find a solution, who likes geeking it out with a bunch of engineers. Just let's figure this out. Let's figure this manufacturing process. So when I lose reception next, I'm just going to sign off. I've said most of the things I wanted to say. It was unfortunate that I couldn't good enough reception in order to walk around. Yeah, I could have tried just filming it and uploading it. So appreciated everyone who tuned in. Sorry about losing reception so often. Hopefully the quality will improve. They should upload a HD version, and later the quality will be a little bit better. Yeah, at least for myself to have had a little bit of my ramble recorded and put these thoughts on. And I just read the Elon Musk book, so I thought this would be the best opportunity to ramble on it. And the unfortunate reality of the decline of America. And Elon Musk is indicative of the decline of America. Even saying his bad character and his flaws, that he's the only one who's successfully done any of these things. The likelihood of the UAW strike happening, the continued domination of Eastern companies. God forbid, God forbid. So, don't need to harp on it that much. And, Duvid, I'm losing my own meal, just like anybody else here in America. I want to spend thousands of hours just researching how these little devices work and these scientific processes work. For what? For nothing? For hope of, getting a sales job, selling, equipment or something. And you can't even really move up the ranks of, the system's kind of rigged against people, God forbid. So, it's kind of the love of God. I love God. I love how the universe works. I love understanding the material realm, thinking about these things, and the importance of technology for the betterment of humanity. Another point Isaacson mentioned, Elon Musk, is worried about humanity, but not so much about his personal relationships with individual people. And you have a lot of engineers think about how things work in general. I'm good with thinking about humanity in the large terms, not good about individual relations. And so you have to find the golden mean. And, so hopefully I'll come to the injection molding. I think 2 weeks from now is the injection molding conference. And hopefully I'll come out to that. Rosh Hashanah tomorrow night. Rosh Hashanah. I'm not sure if I'm going to do a week in review. It's possible I'll come on late and read some papers. Sunday night about 9 o'clock and do a week in review. But happy Rosh Hashanah. It's not so bad. And everybody book of life for another year. Someone finds these videos, watches these videos. Find people that like the blood sports era and the debate and winning people over to a side. I'd rather find people interested in understanding things. I'm not vested in cultural battles or wars, and even those I'm more interested in just understanding sociology, psychology, theology. The show ended after a while, but keeping it through on paper. But he believes in people and still thinks he could meet people through doing this. So meet people that, and even like the networking, the business end. So Elon Musk's genius in converting physics to practical engineering. I've failed at that largely my whole life. I'm a thinker, understand ideas. I've largely failed at anything practical, but I don't want to give up on that. So put myself out there. So God bless. And